You're not a cat. Everyone who ever looks at you is going to think you are. The build, the claws, the way you watch a thing before you decide to end it. They'll be wrong. Your family tree runs back through koalas and wombats, a long line of animals that ate leaves. Somewhere along it, one of them grew blades. That's you. You don't have proper canine teeth. What you've got instead is a pair of premolars that close like shears, and a thumb, an actual thumb, with a hook on the end of it. Pound for pound, nothing that has ever walked this continent bites harder than you. And tonight, after 40-odd thousand years off the books, you're standing in the modern Outback, working out what's still on the menu. Right, let's run it. If you want to see more extinct things dropped where they don't belong, you know the drill. I'll keep dropping them. You keep watching what happens. You wake into a country that's wrong in every direction. You know what you're built for. Cover, trees, scrub, the dark edge of a forest where a heavy animal can sit still and let the world walk past. That's the country your body remembers. This isn't it. This is open ground. Red dirt, spinifex, a few thin eucalypts standing a long way apart like they're avoiding each other. The horizon goes on too long. There's nowhere to hide, and your whole strategy is hiding. You're young here. Small. The bulk hasn't come yet. You move low and slow because that's the only speed you've got. Short bursts, then nothing. You are not a runner. You were never going to be a runner. The legs are for pouncing, not chasing. The back is stiff. The tail is a heavy prop that lets you sit up on your hind legs like a tripod and free your hands. Out here, sitting up just makes you easier to see. The heat is the first thing trying to kill you. You're a big animal with a small amount of shade, and the country bakes. You learn fast that the day is for lying flat under whatever scrub you can find, and the work happens at the edges, dawn, dusk, the cool of the dark. But the food. The food is everywhere. You smell them before you understand them. Soft, slow, fat things that don't run when they should. Goats, rabbits in their thousands, pigs rooting through a creek bed with no idea anything could want them. A mob of grey kangaroos that watch you a second too long, because nothing their size has hunted them in a very, very long time. The bush forgot what you are. That forgetting is the only edge you've got out here. You're going to use all of it. You find your first scrap of cover, a fallen log, a low bank, a tangle of dead timber by a dry creek. You fold yourself down behind it. You go still, and you wait for something to make the mistake of walking close. Field note. The animal we're describing is Thylacoleo carnifex, the marsupial lion. The name does a lot of lying. It isn't a lion, and it isn't a cat. It's a marsupial, and its nearest living relatives are the koala and the wombat. Leaf eaters, the lot of them. How big it got is still argued over. The bones we have point to somewhere around 100 to 130 kilos, with a few large individuals pushing higher. Call it the weight of a lioness, give or take. And don't trust anyone who gives you an exact number. The full skeleton was only assembled this century. Before that, we were guessing. You grow. That's what the easy food buys you. Size and fast. The first real kill teaches you everything. A feral goat, picking its way along a fence line at dusk, head down. You're already down. You've been a shape in the scrub for an hour and the wind is yours. You don't think about distance the way a fast animal does. You think about one thing. Close enough. The goat steps close enough. Then it's over almost before it starts. You don't open your jaws wide and clamp on. You can't. The mouth doesn't work that way. What you do is grab. Both forelimbs, that hooked thumb claw sinking in and holding, all your weight pinning the animal to the ground. Then one bite. The premolars come down like shears and close on something that matters. You don't need a second. The goat stops being a problem. You eat. Then you drag what's left up into the dead branches of a leaning tree. Because you can. Because the claws are built for it. Because up there it's yours alone. Out here, with no competition worth the name, that's almost a habit you didn't need. Almost. The second lesson is the one that hurts. A kangaroo, you see it at range, grazing on open ground, and something old in you says go. So you go. You break cover at a flat sprint, and for a handful of strides you are terrifying. Then the burst is spent. The roo is gone, bounding off into the heat shimmer at a speed you were never going to match, and you're standing alone in the open, sides heaving, completely exposed. You learned the rule the hard way. You don't chase. You were never built to chase. Out here, every meter of open ground between you and your cover is a meter that can get you killed. So you change. You become patient in a way that suits the country. You hunt the fence lines, the water points, the places soft, slow animals have to come to. You let the Outback bring the food to you, and the Outback is full of food that has no idea. That's the strange part about this place now. There's no native animal anywhere near your weight that wants to fight you. The dingoes give you a wide berth. They're a fraction of your size, and they know it. Above you, a wedge-tailed eagle might trouble something small, but nothing up there is coming for you. For the first time on this continent in 40,000 years, the biggest, hardest biting thing in the landscape is back, and it's you. Then one night you cross a line you don't understand. Straight, taut, waist-high, running off into the dark in both directions. A fence. You've never met a straight line before. You shoulder through it, snap a wire, and a barb opens a long cut across your shoulder. That should have slowed you down. It didn't. You leave a tuft of hair on the wire and walk on, and somewhere a sensor you'll never see logs the break. Off in the dark, there's a low, steady hum and a pair of white lights crawling along the ground. You don't have a word for it. You will, soon enough. The country's stopped being empty. Something else runs it now, field note. The bite is where the legends start. You'll hear that pound for pound this animal bit harder than any mammal that ever lived, and that part holds up. For its size, nothing in the carnivore club competes. A study scored its bite, relative to body weight, above both a lion's and a tiger's. But hold on to those three words, for its size. Whether it could really land a full lion-grade killing bite with those low, strange teeth has been argued over, and not everyone agrees. And how it actually killed. A throat bite, the claws, a grip and shear, some mix of all three. We're reading off marked bone and guessing at the rest. The record stops at the bones. The lights come back. So do you. It starts with the calves. A cattle station, a paddock, 40 head of cattle, and their young bunched near a trough in the dark. To you, it isn't a farm. It's a feedlot somebody built and forgot to guard. You don't rush it. You do what the country taught you. Become part of a fence post, a shadow against the rail, and you wait for the herd to drift. A calf wanders. Not far. Far enough. You take it the way you take everything now. Close, then closer, then all at once. 4 limbs out, thumb claws in, the whole weight of you driving it down before it can call. One bite. The shears close. The calf goes quiet, and the paddock barely stirs. But a calf is not a goat, and a station is not empty country. The herd panics. Cattle are big and loud, and they run into fences, and the noise rolls across the dark to a house with lights in the windows. Doors. Voices. An engine turning over. Now it gets ugly. The lights find you mid-meal. Hard white beams, swinging, pinning you flat over a kill you're not going to leave. Every instinct says cover. There is no cover. There's a paddock, a fence, open ground in every direction, and a vehicle coming across it faster than anything you can outrun. You break for the dark. A short burst of flat-out terror, the old sprint, and then it's gone. And the lights are still behind you, and they are not getting tired. You turn. It's the only thing left. You stop running and you face the thing chasing you. Low and wide, every muscle loaded. The hardest bite on the continent, ready for an animal it was built to ruin. The thing chasing you does not have a throat to bite. There's a sound, flat and final, that you've never heard and won't hear twice. And the country you came back to, the one with no predator your size, no competition, all that soft, slow food, finishes the lesson it started at the fence. You were the biggest, hardest biting thing out here. It didn't matter. You met the one animal that doesn't fight the way fighting is supposed to work, and it never came within reach of your teeth. In the morning, there's a tuft of hair on a barb, a calf that didn't make it, and a story the station will tell for years about the thing that came out of country that hasn't held anything like you since the Ice Age. Which, out here, barely rates as the strangest thing that's happened on a cattle run. But it's close. Here's the part the sim can't fix. The first time around, you didn't lose a fight. You lost a country. The forests you were built to hunt from dried out and thinned and pulled back, and the big, slow prey you were built to kill went with them. Maybe it was the climate doing the drying. Maybe it was people, hunting, burning, reshaping the ground, arriving right about the time everything large went quiet. The honest answer is nobody's sure which, and the people who study it still don't agree. What's not in question is the shape of it. Somewhere around 40-odd thousand years ago, the most specialized predator this continent ever made ran out of the only thing it knew how to do. A perfect set of tools for a world that stopped existing. Drop it back into the new one, and it lasts about as long as it takes the new owners to notice. That's the sim. I'll see you in the next one. Drop the next creature in the comments. The one you want put down where it doesn't belong. Top reply gets dropped into Australia next week. I'll read every one of them. Pick something that shouldn't be walking around. The bush still won't be ready for it. It never is. That's sort of the point.